Welcome on into Around the Felt. We got the Week 12 preview. Super excited here with my co-host, David Michael Kuzrock, better
Hey,
known as DROCK.
Slam it. I'm surprised you know my middle name, so
Yeah,
happy about that.
the credit card is in your name, so obviously we put these crew necks on the credit card, and when I was filling it out, they asked for the name on the card, and that is David Michael Kuzrock. So I do, in fact, know that, and comment if you guys want to know the rest of the credit card details, and
Not my personal, because it would get denied, but Around the Felt, that one may also get denied as well. So
the lifestyle you guys live out in Hoboken, it's an expensive one, but hey, man, I'm excited to be back tonight with you. Obviously, we'll recap last night's game as well. That was a good one, but then we'll get into all the games for Week 12. But let's get into some of the news today. We talked about your team yesterday, but the New York Jets, my team, they fired Joe Douglas, the GM. I believe he was 30-66 in his career. So, he was the brains behind bringing Rodgers in this super team, or what we thought was the super team. But obviously it did not work out, and Woody Johnson fired him. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was about to ask you the same question. Where do you go from there, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say, where do we go from here? Lose, continue to lose. And I would say at this point, I was looking more into the Rodgers contract. I think we can potentially get out of it next year. And at this point, I think it's time to move on. It obviously didn't work out, and I don't see, him getting a year older, anything changing for next season. So I would say, draft a quarterback. Hopefully, let that guy play. I mean, at worst, I guess you could have Rodgers, let him sit behind a year, but I don't know how many coaches are going to want to come into a job with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. So I think it just makes it a more attractive job for any coach and GM if he's gone first being there. So,
so it's full tank mode for you guys now?
Yeah. So it's funny. We're going to be, I'm honestly going to be rooting for your Giants to win now. And, the Raiders and the Panthers and all those Jaguars, all those really shitty teams. So it'd be nice to get one of those top picks. Maybe we get Shador and maybe Dion. I don't know. Father-son duo in New York.
That'd be crazy. I did see the live odds today for the team to get the least amount of wins. And if you are looking to sprinkle, if you are a Giants fan, I guess, or a Giants, or I don't even know what you want to phrase it, but they're plus 450 right now to be the least favorite. I mean, to have the least amount of wins, which would make them, I believe it is the 5th favorited team to get that first round pick. So if you're a Giants fan, you have something to root for, right? For them to lose. And you could also sprinkle on them to have the least amount of wins at plus 450.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, who was the favorite? The Raiders or the Jaguars?
The Jags, and then the Raiders. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones will do that, because I think I would say I lean DeVito is a better quarterback. No, he definitely is, because at least at this point, at least last year, he had some, electricity brought in. Mac Jones doesn't, he doesn't move the needle. He doesn't fire anybody up. He just depresses you.
Sorry, the Browns are the most favorited.
That one surprises me, but
Browns
I get
plus 350, Raiders plus 400, Jags plus 400, Titans plus 450, and the Giants plus 450.
Well, you know what? I didn't look at their schedule. I guess they do have 2 wins, and they probably have a lot of division games left. And I guess also, odds are with how many 2-win teams there are, there's probably going to be a tie. So that money would be split 2 or 3 ways. So even plus 450 really probably will end up being more like plus 225, or even plus like 150, 16, something like that. Math is hard, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm good at it. So
100 Hills Playhouse social media guy over here, and also a marketer on this side. So
yeah, I've been doing the announcements, so give me some credit. So
hey,
if you want to book tickets and see me on stage,
don't plug 100 Hills Playhouse. I don't plug my goddamn company.
Yeah, Wealthbridge Financial, I'll plug it for you. I mean, they're the best in the life insurance game. I mean, I know, like Dave was saying, like, I can help you out with faking your death and really get you a lot of money. So you should take out a life insurance policy. So times are tough in the gambling world, and I'm strapped for cash. So Dave's going to help me fake my death, and I'll be getting that 100K or 200K policy I took out. So
yes, sir. 300 for you, my man.
Mm-hmm.
Little as $50 a month. That's a plug.
No, not bad at all. Fucking go down to Cabo with a new name and 300K. Not bad, not bad. That's what Dave gets me. So
Yeah.
but yeah, Garrett, you're gonna do the questions tonight, so we'll bring him in here. He will ask the question. So Garrett, what's up, buddy?
What's up, fellas? You
Yo,
ready
yo,
to
yo.
get right into it?
Well, first off, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hanging in there.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got one Loescher in the bathroom and the other one in the library. It shows you exactly where
I'm
these
locked
two
in.
are
I don't
headed.
know what this guy's doing over here.
I'm locked in too. I do my best work on the toilet. I said that last night, and I'll stand by that. At the end of the day, my bedroom's is big construction zone right now, and some of you might be laughing, but you probably don't know the first thing about construction. So while you're in your suits and ties at your finance jobs, well, great. You've probably never seen a callus unless it's self-inflicted.
All right, buddy. You're hovering over a toilet right now. All right.
Oh, this is great.
Let's get right into Jared. Why don't we?
Jared, let's
Jared's
get
got
into
a cool
you.
question for us. He wants us to build the best franchise using these categories. He wants stadium/location, team history, general manager, coach, OC, and DC. I'm guessing he means like current coaches and GMs. I doubt he means all time, but
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, stadium/history. Give me Heinz Field. I mean, I'm sorry, Acrisure, but I'm gonna call it Heinz, and I'm sure any of you Steelers fans listening would agree. It'll always be Heinz Field. So I'm taking that as my stadium. When I went out there, I loved the environment. They were very welcoming, and they didn't give me too much shit after they molly whooped my Jets. So appreciate that.
humble fans.
Yeah, humble fans. They're the nice PA fans and not the scumbags like the Eagles. Dave, who do you got?
For stadium wise,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called now, but I just love the goddamn field, and I guess of what the Steelers history has done. Is it called Heinz now, or
I just fucking said that.
oh,
dude.
did you? Sorry, I was literally. That is totally on me. I was not paying attention.
I
But
think
yeah,
that's a good pick.
let's change this and let's go. Just go Arrowhead.
All right, I mean, hey, they get loud. It's either them or Seattle for the loudest stadium. So appreciate that. History.
Yeah, I'd say that or Buffalo for me, just because of how crazy their fans get out there and how in the wintertime you get those snow games.
Yeah, like that. Now history. You said, give me New England's. I mean, come on, they obviously were one of the best dynasties. They just continue to win, and I can respect it. I mean, they were our daddies for a while as Jet fans, and the rest of the AFC knows it well. So give me the Patriots history.
Yeah, I'm gonna go New England here. I'm fucking around, guys. It's clearly a fucking joke. Yeah, no.
I was gonna say you fuck.
No,
Come up with your own idea.
I'm really fucking around. Dude, the history, I've only been an NFL fan for 3 years now. I couldn't even tell you what other stadiums I would honestly have in mind here.
We'll go off of your history, What do you like in what team's history do you like over the past 3 years that you want for your franchise? Gary, you want to
how new is that Atlanta stadium? That's fairly new, right?
No, bro,
I think you mean team history.
History.
I'll go San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah, obviously
they're dominant now, and they used to be dominant. They've just always had a good culture.
Yeah, no, Dave, it's team history. So
I could go Steelers. I'd go Steelers that direction too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now GM. What GM do you want? Give me Howie Roseman, man. I mean, as of recent, it just seems like he's always got the Eagles competing. It always seems like he's a wizard when it comes to the trades. It's like, how the hell did he get that guy for that cheap? I mean, just look at this last draft. I mean, getting Quinion Mitchell falling to him late, and then you get Cooper DeJean in the second round, and now their defense looks completely revamped. He brought in Zach Bond, and obviously I'll give Vic Fangio his credit, but who brought him in? The GM, Howie Roseman. So he's the GM I would want to build with my team.
Help me out here. Who's the Lions GM?
The Lions.
Brad Holmes.
Oh, Brad Holmes. I believe so. And that
it's a good pick.
Yeah, Brad Holmes. Yeah, I don't know. You got to say it with
confidence.
confidence.
When Dan Campbell came in, they built that culture up really quick in his eyes. Like he built it his way, and that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly where I'm heading in.
I'd probably go Eric DeCosta from the Ravens. He learned under Ozzie Newman, and they always seem to draft well no matter what picks they have. Their team's always competitive, and they always seem to cut players at good times. And that's something I'd look for in a good GM.
Yeah, so for a coach, give me Sean McVay, man. I mean, dude always seems to have a good plan schemed up. I mean, your offense is going to be good. I mean, even when it seems like there's no way they can win, or they're at a disadvantage, they keep the games competitive. I mean, so I'm taking McVay, Super Bowl winning coach, and I don't think that's the last we'll see. I mean, a lot of it helps with his age, but give me a pretty boy. I don't want a fat slob as my coach, so I'm taking McVay.
All right. Speaking of fat slobs, go Andy Reid, hamburger boy. That boy's been winning for the last decade. Let's just not say just because of Patrick Mahomes, but it kind of is. But you know what? Give it me Andy Reid, that fat slob.
Well, Garrett.
I was thinking, I don't know. I guess right now I'll switch it up. I'll go Matt LaFleur. He's had a winning season every year. He's been the Packers head coach. Offense always seems to be great. Right now, give me him. And I only don't say Kyle Shanahan because he's yet to win the big game.
Yeah, no, he is not. All right, OC. Could I take the obvious one of Ben Johnson? Maybe I will. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, give me Ben Johnson. He's the obvious one. I mean, obviously, the Lions' offense just dominates everybody. I mean, they've seen pretty much untouchable all season outside of that, that dud game against the Buccaneers. And even the Texans, like obviously that was Goff struggling, a lot of bad plays. But I don't care. I mean, this team is sick. He's going to go and get whatever contract he wants next year to be the head coach of somebody, and he has his pick of the litter for sure next year.
This may come off pretty dumb. The Niners GM, not GM, offensive coordinator. Was Shanahan the OC at one point, or am I tripping?
He calls plays. He has an OC under him, but
yeah, I mean,
him and McVay are calling plays, so you.
It's Chris. Yeah, it's Chris Forster. So if you want to give him some credit, I mean, that's who you want.
Let's give him credit. The Niners' offensive has looked phenomenal, regardless if Brock Purdy's not even doing that well. So let's go Niners.
All right.
Garrett. Yeah, if we're going true OC, give me Ben Johnson as well.
Yeah. All right. DC, I'll go with Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, obviously he's had, the Chiefs playing at an elite level last year. I think it's pretty safe to say the biggest reason they won that Super Bowl was not because of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and that offense. It was because of how good Steve Spagnuolo had that defense playing all year with all this. And even this year too. I mean, you look at how bad and how much the offense has struggled. And the one thing that's been consistent for the Chiefs over the past couple of years is their defense at all levels. Obviously, it starts with Chris Jones, but on the D line, and you get to the linebacker core, who they've rotated a bunch of guys in over the past couple of years, but very consistent. And the secondary, I mean, it seems like every year they got a couple good corners, and you trade. Why am I blanking on his name? Got traded to Tennessee. What?
L'Jarius Sneed.
Sneed, yeah. So obviously you trade Sneed to the Titans. And it just, you don't skip a beat on the defensive side of things. So give me Steve Spagnuolo.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on this one. I don't know too many DCs, to be honest with you.
I'll take it. I'll take Brian Flores this season. I think they've overperformed a lot with the talent they have on that defense. I mean, they don't have a lot of studs in that secondary, but they find a way to bring pressure using a lot of blitzes with their linebackers and safeties. And he's a guy that's probably going to be one of the top guys to get interviews this year for a head coach. So this season, give me Flores.
Yeah, sounds good. Dave, just any defense you like, and I'll tell you who the DC is.
I was also going to shout out the Broncos DC this year.
Oh yeah, is it not? It's Vance Joseph, no?
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, it's Vance Joseph, who obviously had some head coaching opportunities, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's been, very consistent as a DC, and that was why he's gotten the head coaching opportunities, but he's obviously had them way overperforming, because if you look at the DC, I mean, there's not a lot of big names outside of Surtain there, but he's got a lot of guys, putting in some career years. He's getting guys paid, but I mean, they seem primed to be one of the wild cards.
Who's the Steelers DC?
Oh shit. Oh gosh. I should know this. It's pissing me off. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh wait, no. Terrell Austin? Oh shit! I forgot. Yeah. Terrell Austin. You know what? Because they've got. I mean, obviously with Tomlin being so good, they flip coordinators so frequently, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Because the Steelers are good, and then his guys get opportunities elsewhere. So it's Terrell Austin. So if that's your pick, Dave, I mean, it sounds like you're a big Steelers guy.
Yeah, back in my time, I was kind of following the Steelers. I want to give myself a Steelers fan title, but yeah, you can say that I'm a big Steelers guy. Sure.
Why'd you stop?
Because I now live with a Giant season ticket holder, so I had made that full transition.
Made a business decision
back in 2021.
Hey, there you go. You hear it,
All right,
fellas.
Jared.
You can buy DROCK's happiness. So if somebody
Jared,
wants to convert him over,
let us know, Jared, whose team you like the most. Comment, text us.
Yeah, we'll make a clip on this. So this will be on social media. So we'll see what people think.
All right, I like it. Austin, let's switch over to him.
Hey, Austin.
Austin. He's back to the well. Which player is going to have the biggest impact for their team in Week 12?
So we'll just go from a fantasy perspective on this one because I mean people only care about the fantasy aspect. So obviously this week 13 games, 6 teams on pie. So it's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. And with that being said, I kind of went back and forth, and I always do on this one. But you know what? You know who I think is going to have a monster week? And, I'm actually thinking Marvin Harrison coming off the bye. Obviously him and Kyler have not been on the same page a ton this year. He's continuing to develop. Obviously had the concussion. But I think with them going into the bye week, they made a conscious effort to get him more involved, get him and Kyler more on the same page. And I am not sold on that Seahawks secondary. I know obviously people overrate Woolen, and I know Witherspoon is a very good corner, but I do think this is a good spot for Marv. I fully think he will go over 100 yards in this game. Don't be shocked if he has 2 touchdowns and getting close to double-digit catches and way over double-digit targets. So big week for Marv Harrison and a big win for the Cardinals to get to 7-4 and really take a nice jump and lead on that division.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kareem Hunt here. I'm going to take any running back against the Panthers every single week. The Panthers suck. Everything about their defense blows, and so does their offense. So I don't know how that correlates to Kareem Hunt, but I think he's going to go for 150 with 1 touchdown.
And obviously, I'm assuming there's an asterisk on that. If Pacheco plays, then that would not be your play.
Isn't he coming back next week, not this week?
They haven't officially said either way. I know there's a chance he plays. I would imagine being 9-1 going against the 3-win Panthers team, they hold him out. But I would just say, nobody give him shit if Pacheco does play because, obviously this is if Pacheco is out play.
Thanks for backing me up there.
I'm going to go with A.J. Brown playing against the Rams this week on Sunday Night Football. I don't love the Rams secondary. They tend to let up a lot of yards to wide receivers. A.J. Brown's a big body dude that I just don't think they have a corner that can match up well against him.
Yeah, no. I mean, they really don't. And obviously, that's the weak point. They got a young defense. Defensive line for the Rams is getting better every week, but the secondary is obviously where you beat the Rams.
All right, his next question, he says, which teams need to win this week?
Yeah,
Must-win game for what team?
Yeah, right away, I would say the 49ers. You're playing Green Bay. You're a game back of the division lead, but you're actually 4th based off of head-to-heads in your own division. So 49ers for sure, because if you drop to 5-6 and then, Arizona goes and gets a win, then you're now 2 games back with Arizona having the head-to-head. So then you kind of shift to the wild card spot. And right now, the 7 seed in the NFC would be the Commanders at 7-4. So you cannot afford a loss because you will then be 2 games back potentially in your own division. And if Washington wins this week, because obviously the Green Bay will beat you, and if Washington wins, which I fully expect them to beat Dallas, you will then be 3 full games back of the wild card. So I'd say the 49ers have a must win. I don't know if there's anyone else you can make a case for, obviously with the, teams like the Bengals on bye this week, but I'm curious to hear if there's any other ones that I missed.
Should be a simple layup, but I think the Bucs got to get it done against the Giants, but I don't know, with Tommy Cutlett's coming back, you never know. So yeah, they may think it's a layup, but we're bringing Cutlets back to MetLife, and the Bucs need a win to be one game back in the division, and then I think the Falcons are like 6-4 right in front of them or something like that. But yeah, I would say it's probably a must win for those Bucs, especially with the rest of the season coming along.
Now, are you going to the Giants game?
I will be going to the Giants game. Yeah.
Awesome. I cannot wait for Yo, it's me, DROCK. I'm back in my kingdom. This week we're taking Tommy Cutlets over 1.5 passing touchdowns. What are we gonna do? Slam it, and then it doesn't hit.
Hey,
I want a fucking. If you want to do a Giants play, I want a big, give me a plus 1,000 pick. Give me something juicy.
I have something in mind right now. I will be wearing my Tommy Cutlets shirt. It may not be Tommy Cutlets, but I'll give you something juicy. It's not going to be even odds.
Yes, good. Why is Colin not going? Is he studying?
He's studying. Yeah. Wait,
so are you using his tickets?
No, he sold his tickets.
So who's going? You and Kenny?
No, me, my brother, and his friend, and 2 of his friends.
Hell yeah, that's nice. And that's what it's about, being an older brother. And I know neither of you can speak to that. I'm sure, obviously, your older brother can speak to that, but you got to take care of the little brothers always.
That's crazy. I'm paying for my own ticket. So Ben, if you're hearing this, fuck you. I'm paying for my ticket.
All right, let's move on. Which game should be the best to watch this week?
Yeah. So that's a good one. But I'm going to go back to the 49ers and Green Bay. I mean, those are 2 phenomenal teams. Obviously, it's not playoff rematch of last year, but a playoff matchup we've seen a lot with Aaron Rodgers, going into San Fran or vice versa, and some hard fought battles. But it does seem like it's always close fought. Obviously, LaFleur and Shanahan very familiar with each other, so I expect this to be back and forth all game, same coaching tree, and obviously, even with the Niners struggling, I still expect them to make the playoffs. So you would think this is going to be very crucial when it comes to seeding later on. And, this might be a future matchup in the playoffs. So this is the one I'm looking forward to.
I don't know.
You guys got one?
It's got to be for me, Baltimore versus the Chargers. Battle the Harbaughs. Monday Night Football, both teams 7-3 and 7-4. Battle AFC matchup. I mean, the Harbaughs haven't played each other in years. The Super Bowl rematch, if you want to say. Now he's with the Chargers. That would be Jim, but this is just a great game. It's going to probably live up to the hype.
Yeah, no, it is a great game.
Yeah, I agree with that one. They were talking a lot about that on Red Zone on Sunday. I think that's going to be a sick matchup to watch. I mean, when's the last time 2 brothers played against each other? Either a head coach or a player. Probably enough. It's been a minute. No?
Yeah, I mean, players obviously more often. I mean, there's not that many head coaches brothers that have been head coaches. I mean, obviously the Grudens. Rex Ryan was a head coach. I don't know if his brother was. I'm trying to think.
He was never a head coach. He was.
Yeah, he was a coordinator.
DC.
Yeah. And the same with the LaFleurs. Like, obviously Matt was a head coach, but his brother was never a head coach. So, but obviously they went against each other as head coach versus coordinator. But yeah, so I'd probably say, in recent memory, it was probably the Grudens going against each other, who obviously both are out of the league now. And John Gruden gets the fat contract from Barstool Sports. So kind of sucks. I wouldn't have hated him as a Jets coach.
Jets coach. Yeah.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
Fun. Chucky. All right. We'll get to the next one. He says, not an NFL question, but who do you guys think is going to be the 12 teams to make the college football playoffs?
I mean, that's a big question.
Unless you want to do this, which team is going to be national champs for college?
Yeah. I'd rather do that.
It's still a little early.
It's too early to assume. I mean, I could say Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, locks. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't. I'd rather just give my prediction.
Yeah,
who I think will win it. Old Miss. That was my pick before the season. I'm sticking with that. I like their offense, but I really like their defense. They've had some hiccups early on. I mean, you'd like them to, win at home against Kentucky. I think that's really going to hurt their seeding. And then obviously you'll lose to LSU on the road in overtime, but that's not as bad. But the Kentucky loss, yeah, that sucks. But you looked great against Georgia. Started out a little rocky, but you win 28-10 at home. I mean, Georgia, I know obviously people aren't sold on Carson Beck, and he's kind of hurt his stock a ton because he was one of those guys being looked at as a first-round pick. Now I don't know where his stock is, but regardless, the defense looked legit, and I think they're, they match up well with anybody in all of college football. So why not them? Go Rebels.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't know, but shit. I've been watching a lot of MAC action recently on these Tuesdays and Wednesday nights with no football. And man, would I love one of those teams out of that conference to make it to the Natty Chip? But that's not going to happen for a while. I don't think Texas goes far. I don't think so. I think they're a joke. I'm going to say shout out. Let's go. Fuck. I'm not taking the Buckeyes. That's just a square pick, dude.
Dude, take what you want.
I know.
I can go quick if you want.
Yeah,
you
go for
go,
it.
Garrett.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go Miami. I think maybe they'll go on a Washington-like run. They got Cam Ward, similar to Michael Penix last year. They can start cooking at the end of the year. Future Jets quarterback Cam Ward. Let's go there. Now, I honestly think it's going to be Oregon, but I'm not going to give this square pick.
I know. I don't want to give a square pick either.
I don't think it. I have no. I mean, Boise State went band for band, toe for toe with Oregon. I mean, it came down to them scoring a touchdown in the last couple seconds. So I'm not sold on Oregon at all. And I would say this is definitely no clear-cut favorite. So it's, and a lot of my reason for liking Ole Miss is there's value too. But Dave, I'm curious, it doesn't have to be crazy insight, but who are you rocking with?
Fuck it. Just give me the Buckeyes, man. God damn it. I would love to see. Give me say square. Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to see Big Ten win again. So let's just roll with them, boys, and let's go Buckeyes. Shout out to Uncle Howard on the West Coast if you're listening. Let's go Buckeyes.
Yo, shout out to you, Uncle Howard. I mean, we freaking love you, dude.
We do love you, Uncle.
Is that
Howard.
your uncle?
It is my uncle. Yeah, he's a huge Buckeye. He's been probably 90% of every single regular season game since he graduated, probably back in the 80s, maybe 90s.
Crazy, so Uncle Howard's a Buckeye. Grandpa Drock's
a Dookie,
a former Duke basketball player,
and Croc, as you would say, he is a Turpin. So he's with me. He's in Maryland. Too funny, right?
There we go. That is sick.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the Kuzrock family is very diverse, and that's what I like to hear. So
yeah, that's what happens when you're a Kuzrock.
What do we got next, Gary?
Well, we do plan on doing when the bracket comes out, we're probably going to do a breakdown of it. So if you're a college fan, look forward to that.
All
right, we'll move over to Caleb now. Caleb wants to know, why are the Steelers only favored by 3.5 points against the Browns?
This is what I'm saying, bro. Dude, oh my God. I may throw $1,000 on that. You got to be kidding me, bro. Only 3.5 points. If you're a sharp bettor, buy down to 2.5 and just mega max whale that. Explain to me. The Browns fucking suck. And you're telling me what? What is this eyes, bro? The Steelers are 8-2. What do you? Don't give me that look, bro.
I don't care, bro. It is
home field advantage.
Nope. Bullshit. No. That's not what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is, and the Steelers may end up winning. I do like your aspect because regardless, whoever wins this, it's going to be by a field goal. And it doesn't matter. I don't care what the records are. AFC North games are always super tight. Usually they're defensive battles. Obviously, the Bengals don't have a defense this year, so that's why the Bengals-Ravens has been so high scoring. But I don't care what the records are. I don't care what the teams are. There's so much animosity. There's so much hatred, and it just always seems like they're ugly slugfests. So I think the Steelers, we're not going to see an offense output again, and we know the Browns' offense is shitty. But I think this is going to be low scoring. I think this is going to be defensive. And why not the Browns, man? Why not the Browns? I don't care. They still got guys there. Hey, they still get paid to play. And you know what? Maybe Nick Chubb wakes up. He's getting back and has a big game. And you know what? I like Jameis. He slings that thing. He ain't like Deshaun Watson. He ain't afraid to throw the ball. And I really do like the weapons the Browns have. I think it's very underrated. I mean, Cedric Tillman's really come into his own. David Njoku, we saw him cook last year with Flacco, and I think he can continue to really be unlocked with a guy like Jameis who ain't afraid to throw it. Elijah Moore, been balling. And obviously last week, Jerry Jeudy been balling. So they got some guys on that offense. They're getting healthy. So why not the Browns? I mean, every casual out there like you was like, well, the Steelers are 8-2 and 3.5 points. So
I do think their corners will match up well against the Steelers. Like,
I just think it's a good matchup for the
Browns.
Browns.
Ward to go against Pickens. I don't know. You got Myles Garrett coming off the edge. I think you throw the record books out the window when the North plays against each other this late in the year. But it is a low spread. I think they just know it's going to be a close game.
It's such a letdown game for the Steelers, dude. They're coming off of a huge win against Baltimore. You think they're not thinking about the fact that they're 8-2 when they're, this is a look-ahead game. Like, we just beat the Ravens. We're on fire. I mean, who they got next week? I guarantee
it's short week too. It's Thursday night, right?
Short week too. Yes, very short week. And you know for a fact they're playing the Bengals next week. They're looking ahead to that. They're worried about Joe Burrow and that team. So I think this is them being like, the Browns are 2-8. So I think this is a classic trap game. Everyone and their freaking mother is going to be like, let's slam it on the Steelers. And I think that's going to, make them pay. So
that's crazy. We're arguing so much. It's almost like we need to make this game the punishment.
Yeah. And I think we will. We talked about this before, and I think we shall.
That's what it is. And also, I'm going to take this with you. I haven't seen the line yet, but I will be taking the game to be a win margin in between 3 and 6, I think it is, or whatever. And that usually has great value. So I'll find that while you guys.
I would do 1 and 3, honestly, bro. I think it's
because then I'll lose I have to eat the whole menu of Taco Bell.
No, I'll do Moneyline with you. I don't care.
Oh, you want to do Moneyline? You want to do Moneyline?
Because you did Moneyline with me, so I
did.
So but I do feel confident in it, and
the Moneyline. You want the upset? Okay.
I think I fully think it's an upset. So I'll put my kahunas on the line, but also, you know what? You gave me that option, so I'm not, I'm not a chicken like Colin. It's like, no, dude, I need the points. Why would I do that? I don't care. So the punishment we decided on is we're going to be doing, you got to eat every single item on the Taco Bell menu. We'll obviously edit it up enough, but, you're not leaving until you finish it all. So it might be gross, but, at the end of the day, it's a funny video. It might not be the shittiest of punishments. We've definitely done worse, like drinking a beer out of a shoe. There's going to be worse ones. There's going to be better ones. But at the end of the day, it's content, and, it's something that'll be interesting. So
your toilet ain't going to like it. You're not going to
that's true.
There if you lose, buddy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have always been under the philosophy, don't work where you shit, but, I might have to bend the rules a little bit.
Don't work. All right. We'll move on because I think I know Reagan's answer for this. Which underdog are you most confident in to cover the spread this week?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, I mean,
the
obviously,
Panthers.
No. Well, I mean, I am confident in that. But you know what? You know who I'm very confident in? And there's a lot of them. But I actually like the Colts a lot. I think everybody is going to be on the Lions -7. I mean, the Lions have been destroying everybody. But you know what? I liked what I saw from Anthony Richardson last week. The Colts play to their competition always. All their games this year have been close. I think there's one that hasn't been decided by one score. And in fact, 7, which the line is right now, would be one score. So at the very least, you're pushing. I guess 8 technically, but, fuck that. But yeah, I'm super confident in the Colts. I think their defense is getting healthy. I really liked what I saw from Anthony Richardson. And, they won last week with Jonathan Taylor really getting bottled up. So I think that'll open it up. I think they'll have a good game plan. And I just think it's a classic trap game. And I actually think they could get the upset. So I'm feeling very confident in them this week. But I think a lot struck. And, I think you just got to keep using Anthony Richardson's legs. And if they do, I think it'll really benefit him, especially in the red zone. Dude's dynamic.
Yeah, I'm going to go my New York Giants. Not only will I be in attendance, but I will be watching Cutlet. I will be watching Cutlets slang it and also run it. Maybe DROCK will take his rushing props. But I don't know. The Giants always seem to get victories when we don't need them. And especially with Tommy Cutlets coming back, he's capable of doing so. So I could see the Giants having 3 straight wins again right in this part of the season. So I'm going to go with the Giants at +5.5. If you can buy up to 7.5 and you have the capital to pay for that line change, do so. But I could still see him covering 5.5.
Yeah, and I would imagine that line will go down now that you broke the news on the podcast. Vegas will know DROCK will be in attendance. So
usually happens.
No, I do like that. And we'll get into that matchup a little more later, but I actually do like that pick a lot.
I'm going to say the Patriots 7-point underdogs against the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins have been playing better and they're starting to get their groove. I just think the Patriots are also a very underrated team. He's been playing everyone pretty tough, and Drake May is really coming into his own. And I think if their offense can get rolling, I think their defense is good enough to at least hold the Dolphins to like 20-something points.
Yeah.
I think they can match that 7 points. We'll see.
No, dude, Drake May's been sick. I mean, he's, I think if he got to play a little bit earlier than he has, I think he would get a lot more attention than he has been getting. But with obviously a lot of the other rookies balling out, playing all year, I feel like he's been kind of brushed to the side, but really has been balling.
He still has like almost as much touchdowns as them, and he's sat like first 4 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean he's 100% passing the eye test for me. As a Jet fan, I will say I'm nervous about him for the future. He's very good. But yeah, do we have any other questions? That was it.
He's got one more good one.
Oh, okay.
Caleb wants to know. He says, "Let's talk draft picks. Where do you see teams like the Jets and Giants sitting on draft day? Who would be at the top? Who would be the top players for them to draft? And what players are strongest compared to past years?"
Yeah, I mean, I would say right away, I think the Giants are a lock to take a quarterback. I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't. I mean, you're really not. You don't have a win now roster. So to me, it doesn't make sense to get a veteran in the offseason. It's pretty obvious they're moving on from Daniel Jones. You wouldn't bench him if you weren't. And I don't think DeVito or Locke are the long-term answer. So I would say they go quarterback for sure. I think at this point, with the Jets firing Joe Douglas, it makes me think they go with quarterback more now.
Yeah.
So I lean them going quarterback. Otherwise, I like the kid out of Michigan, the D lineman. So it really depends where they finish. But I would think at this point, both teams will finish in the top 10.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we go, I don't know, top 1, 2, or 3, and we get this guy, Shador. And yeah, that's it. We're looking for a quarterback. That's what we need. Jones is not that guy. I don't think Cutlets or Locke will be them either. So we're going to go right back and get a quarterback this year in that 1, 2, or 3 spot.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a fun year for both of us in the draft, both looking for quarterbacks. How this class compares, I mean, it really doesn't compare as much to past class. There's not a lot of top-heavy talent. There'll be some quarterbacks that'll draw excitement, and as we get closer, you're going to hear the hype build up and like crazy, like it always does. I don't think it's as strong of a class as it's been in the past, like even compared to last year. But you know how the draft goes. Once college football is over, they're going to start hyping these kids up like crazy. And we'll be both in the top 10 again. So back to the well for us. Tankathon.
Yep. Who isn't? I mean, how could you not be thrilled about that? How could you not? I mean, I'm so happy. This is where we're at as Jet fans. So happy.
Darkness, mild friend, the Tankathon list.
Oh, I see that. Actually, going back to Austy's, the college football playoff committee did just announce their 12-team playoff. So it looks like BYU is actually ranked 14th, but since they would be winning the Big 12, they would get the 12 seed for the auto bid. Looks like Tennessee is 11 and SMU is 13 as the first out. And it looks like it would be a BYU versus Ohio State 12-5. Bama, Notre Dame at 9 and 8. Then we got Georgia at the 11 seed versus Penn State at the 6. Then Ole Miss at the 10 versus Indiana at the 7. Boise State actually would be moving up to the 4 seed, receiving one of the first buys. Oregon would be the 1 seed, playing the winner of Alabama, Notre Dame. Miami would get the winner of Penn State, Georgia, and Texas would get the winner of Ole Miss and Indiana. So very interesting. I still think SMU may get in the way they've been playing, especially after they beat Miami in the ACC championship. And BYU seems like they may drop out quick. I don't know. Colorado has been dangerous. I would love a Colorado versus Boise State matchup. I think that would be awesome, especially with all the Heisman talk for Hunter versus Genty. So that would excite me a lot.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, anything else on the questions, or is that it?
That's it on the question side. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, Garrett, appreciate you hopping
Thanks,
on with
Garrett.
the questions.
Of course.
Get back to studying, brother.
Oh, I will.
Yes. All right, so let's get into the week. Obviously, this week there are 6. Well, I shouldn't say that there are 6 teams on a bye here. We got the Falcons, we got the Bills, we got the Bengals, we got the Jaguars, we got the Saints, and we got the Jets. So 13 games. And quickly, obviously last night, Texans steamrolled the Cowboys 34-10.
God, for my gamblers out there, why didn't we all just get together and slam Mixon? Like, we knew it was going to happen. We all just optimistic. We're like, oh, I don't know, maybe CD could get his his yards, and let's parlay that with a Mixon and then maybe a Nico Collins touchdown. We get fucked on the first goddamn drive after they got called all the way back. We knew Mixon was scoring regardless. But in the case of around the felt for the wheel, thank God that happened. But again, that screwed my parlay over to win 4,000. Should have had Nico Collins to score, and I was very short of what else did I need? There was 2 other plays within that parlay, but besides the point, yeah.
Damn. That would have been a nice hit.
They steamrolled. The Cowboys suck, and yeah, that's basically how you want to phrase that game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mixon over 150 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns. I will say, I mean, Cooper Rush did have a good game for the most part. I mean, then again, only 10 points. But, 354 passing yards and a touchdown. I still do think they should go to Trey Lance just because the season is lost. And at least, maybe he's not your future quarterback. I think that's settled. But, I mean, at least try to showcase him, see if you can, flip him for something valuable. And I will say for fantasy also, I wouldn't worry about CD. I mean, it was pretty clear they were scheming up different plays for him. I mean, he went over for over 100 yards all purpose and had obviously 8 catches, 12 targets. So obviously he's probably not that top 3 guy, but I'd still say he's a top 12 fantasy wide receiver. So don't panic. I was a little worried, but this definitely eased my confidence. But then again, if it's Trey Lance, maybe I'd be a little worried with CD.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like just thinking about it, right? When a really good wide receiver doesn't have his solid quarterback or one that just can't, or doesn't
get the ball to him.
Yeah, get the ball to him. You think about this in a redraft league, like could you really use like CD for some good value right now and trade otherwise? Or are you still holding on to him? Maybe not CD Lamb because I think he's still top 3, but like let's look at this in another scenario. Like, I don't know. You could probably think of another one where there's a good wide receiver, but they lose their quarterback. I don't know, fucking Malik Neighbors. And you could trade.
I don't know. I wouldn't compare because I don't know. I don't know if DeVito's necessarily a downgrade. We'll see.
Yeah, or just use. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can just look at last year. I mean, we saw kind of what Jamar Chase became once Joe Burrow went out. I mean, it was a very similar situation. I mean, a guy who can sling the rock and then has to deal with it. And we're seeing with a lot of the Jaguars wide receivers now. I mean, Brian Thomas still had a good game. Do we believe in it long term with all the injuries and the fact that Mac Jones is his quarterback? So, yeah. I mean,
I don't know. Something to look at though. But you're right. I would still hold on to CD at the end of it, but. Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into our preview. So first game, I mean, we don't have to get too crazy in depth. Obviously, we talked about it before. It's our big bet. But the Browns will be hosting the Steelers as 3.5-point favorites. I'm on the Browns. I talked about it already. I just like the fact that it's a division game and the weapons and stuff. I know you're on the Steelers. What I would say is, I mean, I would be a little hesitant with a lot of the offensive options for fantasy. I may pivot here just, with the fact that the Steelers have won 2 games this year now with kicking 6 field goals and not having any touchdowns and low yardage. And the Browns, obviously Jameis isn't afraid to throw the ball, but that Steelers defense is very good. So, if you're debating between, a Browns or Steelers flex option, I'd probably try to pivot. Obviously you're playing near like George Pickens and stuff, but like guys like Judy and Cedric Tillman and Elijah Moore. Who else? I mean, even Jalen Warren, Najee, you're probably playing in Chubb, but some of those guys that maybe you got a better option in a matchup that's projected to have more points, I may pivot, is all I'd say.
Yeah, Reagan, 1-4 at home and 2-8 overall. I'm not a numbers guy, but that sounds like the Steelers should fucking steamroll. And now that you give me that money line, I'm even more confident, baby. Although I would have loved to eat the entire Taco Bell menu, but
no, you still can. I mean, you're talking like a true square. I mean, even though I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, the way you're talking, it's like, well, one team's 2-8, so but I mean, we'll see. Hey, we'll see. And maybe I'm trying to big brand it here, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. I'm like, you know what? Stop big branding it. But we shall see.
We shall see, Reagan. We shall see.
But let's move on. Buccaneers will be traveling to take on your Giants. Bucs are 5.5-point favorites, over under set at 41.5, so very low total. I am actually going to be riding with the Giants here. I know you talked about it before. You're going to be riding with the Giants, but I'm buying into the energy, man, here. I am buying into it. I think they get it done here. Bucs are very banged up. I know they're getting Mike Evans back, so that'll have the Bucs playing at a higher level, and I know they're coming off the bye week, but so are the Giants. And I think, the culture shift will be evident there. I think the fans will be freaking loud as hell. And I think that'll have the Giants fired up. I think, I think this news was definitely evident prior to, just coming out recently. So, DeVito's been getting some first team reps for a while now. So I expect Tyrone Tracy to maybe be limited against the tough Bucs defense, but I think big games from Neighbors and Slayton here. And I think DeVito is really going to electrify this team. And I think the defense will even be fired up because when, you got hope, everybody's fired up. So I think it's close, but I think the Giants get it done.
Yeah, a couple things here. Bucs coming off their 4th straight loss. I think they have everything in their will to get through the suffering Giants season right now. And I'm going to say for morale intentions for the whole Giants fan base, we love to see Tommy Cutlets back on the field. My whole For You page is Tommy Cutlets, baby. Watching him. I think he went to. Am I wrong for saying Syracuse or was it Clemson? Right. He was at
Syracuse. Yeah.
I'm getting Tommy Cutlets Syracuse highlights on my For You page today. I'm seeing him running down the field with Dable. I mean, gosh, it's going to be cool to see him play. And, it's fun. We get to see, hopefully, he does some offensive production from what we've seen at home so far this year. And, but again, I think the Bucs win, but the Giants cover. Low scoring game, Bucs by 4.
Yeah, that's spoken, and I don't blame you. That's spoken like a Giants fan who wants the game to be close, but to lose because you're tanking for a quarterback. But let's move on. Chiefs will be traveling to take on the Panthers, who are coming in on fire. 2-game winning streak, first time in 2 or 3 seasons. So, Panthers are playing some of their best football. Over-under set at 42.5, and the Chiefs are 11-point favorites. So a lot of respect to the Super Bowl champs because – that means if it was a Chiefs home game, we'd see a 17-point spread.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But I will take the Panthers and to cover, not to win. I think the Chiefs, will win this game here. Obviously, they're the better team. That's pretty evident. But they just play teams close, and they play down to their competition. And they get the win, but they do play down to their competition. So I do think Bryce Young, coming off the bye, playing some of his best football, will be able to get stuff done. I'm excited to see what Jonathan Brooks can do because he will be active in this game, but I think that him and Chuba can be a nice 1-2 punch. Thielen should be back, so, it's never a bad thing when your offense gets 2 playmakers added back. And the defense, while it does suck, I do like what I do think they've been playing better over the past 2 weekends, and maybe that's a little bit of a banged-up Saints team and a terrible Giants offense, but at the end of the day, it's 11 points, a lot of points for a home team. So I will take my Carolina Panthers to cover, but the latter of the Chiefs getting the win.
Yeah, 11 points is a lot, and I guess you could say the Panthers have been playing better than the last 2 games that they've played. They've been playing better the last 2 games than they have previously in the season. Both have been pretty freaking close. What was the week before the Saints, 23-22 or something like that?
Yeah,
and then
both were decided by less than a field goal.
Yes. So, I don't know, though, going against the Chiefs also haven't been rocking as much as year, although although they were undefeated up until last week. But I don't know, man. I'm going to go. I have Chiefs to cover and Chiefs, obviously, to win. So I'm going to stick with my boy, Patrick Mahomes. I think Kelsey gets 70+ this game as well.
Fair. Hey, we shall see.
Let's
move on to the next one. We got the Cowboys taking on the Commanders. The line is set at 10.5 in favor of Washington. Obviously, Dak's out for the year, so it's going to be the Cooper Rush show again, as far as I know. And Dallas coming off of a short week. Washington coming off of the bye. No. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Washington didn't have the bye. They played Philly on Thursday night. So Washington coming off of, obviously 10 days rest. So I think that plays in their favor. I'm not overthinking it here. I'm taking the Commanders to cover. I'm taking the Commanders to win. I know it's a division game, but Dallas just seems defeated. They're not even competing with it. They just, got blown out by Philly at home 2 weeks ago. Now they get blown out at home against Houston. 2 huge rivalry games. Obviously your crosstown rival and your division rival of years. So they just seem beat up, defeated. And I think the Commanders are going to have a good game plan. Good bounce back spot for Jaden Daniels in this offense as a whole. I like all my Commanders fantasy options here. Start them all. And, Commanders get to 8-4. Try to get back in the division race. If not, hey, you get a wild card. The season's already a great year. So continue rolling.
Yeah, not much to be said here by the Commanders. They're dog shit, and I think the Commanders have 10 days rest. So I think that they come in.
Do.
I think they come in here, get the victory, and cover.
Yeah, no, I like that.
And also, I don't know. I think that 45-point total is a little too high for me. So what I'm gonna do here, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the Commanders were 7.5, so they're looking like a 9.5. So what I would do in this game, as we all know, DROCK loves teasers. I would take Commanders -2.5, and I would take then the under at 52.5, and tease the shit out of that because I now love that.
Yeah, and
I don't think they put up 52 points because the Cowboys won't do it they won't have a touchdown. It'll probably be the same thing as last night, as a touchdown, a field goal, and I think Commanders just slang that thing.
Yeah, I think the over/under will stay similar, but obviously I think a lot of people will bet on the Commanders. So what is the highest line you would take them at for your teaser?
In the tease?
Yeah, because I think that line may,
my rule is
the spreadsheet. It's at 11 right now,
yeah.
So I would be at like 5.
Yeah,
right,
so my rule is for the favorite to be less than a field goal by half a point, and then less than a touchdown by half a point. So I'm either taking the favorite to be -6.5 or -2.5 in the tease, or and then the opposite way for the underdog. So I would take what it would be for the Cowboys in this scenario would be 17.5 if it's at 10.5, or I'll do 10.5, or I'll do 3.5. So I can cover essentially by a field goal or a touchdown. If that math makes sense, I always take it like that. I don't know why. It's just in my mind with teasers.
No,
I don't want a freaky point because, like, let's say I lose. Like, let's say I buy it 6.5 point teaser for this Commanders game, and they win by 3, and it was 3.5. Like, you lose. They're not covering that 3, and teasers it pushes too. So that's why I always have to buy that half a point.
All right. I like it.
Reagan, have you done a teaser before?
Yeah, a while back. I haven't done one in a minute. I might have to start taking them. Honestly.
Yeah, you should. You should.
But all right, let's move on. Patriots taking on the Dolphins. Over under set at 45.5. Line is at 7 points in favor of Miami, the home team. And I will be taking the Patriots to cover, but the Dolphins to win here. I think the Dolphins need it bad, but I've been super inspired with how the Patriots have been playing the past couple of weeks. A lot of tight football games. Drake May, talked about it earlier. He seems everything as advertised. I mean, this is why this guy was, getting projected to go number 1 for a while. Obviously, he fell to 3, but super impressed with him. And I know the Miami's starting to figure it out, and I do think they win here. But a division game, I think it'll be low scoring, so I do like the under in this. But I'm going with the Patriots. I do think they keep it close, even if it's a backdoor cover here. But Dolphins will get it done. They need it bad.
Lots of high spreads this week. I don't know, relatively higher spreads, I guess you could say, around that 7 to 10 mark. And now we're seeing 11. So that's pretty crazy. I'm going to go Dolphins here all the way. But again, I don't like what the book offers because they always have the advantage. So buy down on that half a point. If you do see it at 7, get it at 6.5. And then if you see it at 7.5, buy down in a total point. Pay the money for it. I could see the Patriots keeping a relatively close game if you hold that 7.5 point underdog spread for the Patriots. But I'm going to go Dolphins to cover and obviously win. I think who's got to be Achan has been doing pretty good game, having some pretty good games on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, how's the Patriots rush D? Not bad.
I mean, they're
that's
solid.
The best thing going for them.
They played well against the Rams last week with Kyron. I mean, the way they beat the Patriots is in the secondary. I mean, I know Christian Gonzalez is very good, but it does seem like, the way the Patriots normally get beat is through the passing game. So I fully expect Tua to, have a big game here. I think he'll get it done. I just don't really love Miami's defense, so I think Drake May can do enough to keep him in the game and cover. But I do think Miami ultimately just has too much firepower on that offense to not win.
You said Patriots secondary's ass?
No, I'm not saying they're ass. I'm just saying that's how you beat them. I mean, they have Christian Gonzalez, who's very good, but I just look at games like last week. Obviously, Matthew Stafford had 4 passing touchdowns. I know when the Jets beat him at home, Rodgers had 3. So there's been, I know obviously they kind of shut down the Bengals early on, but there's been a lot of games this year where the Patriots have lost not by running backs but by quarterbacks, lighting them up. Because I even look at the Jaguars when they were in London. I mean, I know Bigsby did a lot, but Lawrence, had one of his better games. Obviously, CJ Stroud cooked them early in the year. So there's been a lot of quarterbacks that haven't had a lot of yards, but a lot of passing touchdowns. So
nice. Yep, I'm sticking with that. But going Dolphins spread and to cover. I mean, to cover and win.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on. Another division game. Tennessee Titans will be traveling to take on the Houston Texans. Texans are 8-point favorites in this game. Over-under is at 41.5. I'm taking the Titans to cover here, but I got the Texans winning. My biggest reason is that Houston offensive line, has been so hot and cold, and I really do like the Titans defense. I think they're a lot better than Dallas's, so I think they're going to do enough to limit Stroud and keep this game close. I mean, Will Levis has been better to me recently, so I don't love the Titans pick here, but I just like the line of 8, so I think they can do enough to keep this within a touchdown or even a touchdown. So ultimately the Texans get it done, but I think the Titans defense and especially that D line does enough to keep them in it. But Joe Mixon will have another big game. That's for sure.
Yeah, that boy's been cooking, right?
Yes.
Weird that he's only got 764 yards, but I guess he
did miss a few games, so.
Right. I was gonna say I would say he's got a decent amount of receiving yards as well. I mean, I've seen the check downs a lot and just him get thrown out dish wide. A lot of it also happened last night. I don't know, just the game and everything we were watching. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Texans here to win and to cover. I think you have the Titans to win and cover in the sheet.
No, I have the Titans to cover, but I do have the Texans to win.
Okay, never mind. I was trying to drop something controversial here, but we're going to scratch that.
It's still dropping.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing
All right, let me play devil's advocate. Say I did take the Titans. What would you say?
I'd say you're a dumbass.
Why is that?
Because probably the Texans are at home and the Titans are 2-8, and I love shitting on teams that are 2-8. So, yeah, they really got nothing else going for them. So,
okay, now you're pissing me off. I'm going to switch to the Titans because that's the same shit Colin did.
Why would you do that?
No, because I hate when people talk stupid like this and they don't back it up. Because I remember when the Ravens were huge favorites on the road against the Browns, and Colin was like, blah, 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 shitting on the Browns, this, that, the other thing. And guess what? The Browns went into Baltimore. They got the upset win as almost double-digit point underdogs, and I didn't like the way he was talking about it. So I made the switch. So you know what? Because you're talking down on them, I'm going to make the switch and prove why, talk shit, get hit. So the Titans are going to get a big upset win, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, does Houston have a problem? Yes, you do. Houston, we do, in fact, have a problem. So good going, buddy. Good going.
Yeah, I'm glad I changed your pick. Just another record ahead of you on our standings. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, let's move on, buddy. Unless you got any more insult stats to really, piss me off.
There's nothing. That's it.
All right. So the Lions will be traveling to take on the Colts. Detroit is a 7-point road favorite here. Over under set at 49.5. I talked about it before. I'm very confident in the Colts to cover here, but I actually think they get the win. I think the Lions are fucking soaring at an all-time high right now. Everybody and their mother is going to be betting on them with how dominant they have been in recent. I mean, just looking at the last, obviously the Texans game was close in the Packers game, but they've had some big blowout wins, and they've really been dominating in that AFC South division. Obviously 3-0 now, so they're looking to complete the cycle. But hey, I talked about it earlier. The Colts play all their games close. Outside of that Bills game, that is the only game this year that they've played in that has been decided by double digits. So I like that aspect. And I really like what I saw from Anthony Richardson here. So I think the Colts are going to come in with a good game plan, at the very least cover. But I feel a little frisky, so I'm taking them to win as well. But Dave, what do you got here?
Yeah, shit. I've been riding. No homo. Is that $100,000 fine right there?
Yeah, we gotta have to find you.
I have been riding the Lions all season long. You know what? In this situation, oh gosh, I can't see that line at 7. Did you say 8 or 7 or 8?
It's 7. It's
It's
flat
7 right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I could see the Colts covering too, especially since they're at home.
That's another aspect.
And also Richardson has been good. They're gonna use his legs. And shit, 7's a lot. I don't know. I think Vegas has that pretty high just because of the record and just the I don't know the season that they've currently had. But I may have to change that in the sheet, and I may have to take or just wait till. Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts to cover, but I'll have Detroit winning the game.
Okay.
I think I like the over in this game. I know it's high, 49.5, but I think that's a very high scoring game. And considering the Colts are also 3-2 at home, I think home value at 7-point underdog is something to take. So I'm going to take the spread for the Colts, and I'm going to have the Lions to win.
All right. I like it. Let's move on to another division game. A lot of division games this week. But we got the Minnesota Vikings coming off a big win against the Titans, taking on the Chicago Bears, who had a very defeating loss. Line is Minnesota minus 3.5. Over under, I just had it up. Let me pull that back up. It's set at 39.5, so very, very low. I think giving both of these defenses a lot of respect. But I get the Vikings, man. I mean, I know the Bears obviously had a good game last week, but they already seemed defeated, and to, finally get a spark and compete, and then to lose like that to a division rival who obviously haven't been able to beat in a while. I just think this team's going to roll over here. I think the Vikings at 3.5 is a great spot. So I'm taking Minnesota cover here. I think this ends up being by double digits. I just think Chicago's done. I think last week was their last gasp, and it's not good in Chicago. It's not good. But at least Caleb showed some flashes, and you hope he continues to develop. But that's a team that's just got to move on to next year, and, the season's a wash. It is.
Yeah, teaser alert. This game needs to be teased. I'm going to take – they do respect both defense. Vegas does respect both defenses in this game, with the Vikings being, like 4-1 at home, and the Bears like 4-2 at home. I think that I would tease the under here. And I'm also going to tease the Bears. I'm going to tease it up to 3. I'm just going to be now 10.5, and I'm going to tease that under at 46.5. And throw my life savings on it because this is the teaser game of the week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You heard it here first. The lines drastically just changed.
You have a lot of confidence in the Bears, so I respect that.
Yeah. They're at home. It's one of those games where if I could see one of DROCK's edges that he sees, I'm going to take it, and that calls for a teaser. So no backing up, nobody here. That's it. Sam Darnold, 4 interceptions in the red zone again. So,
but who are you have winning now?
I have the Bear. On my sheet, I'm not sure entirely what I took, but just from looking at the game, I'm going to go Bears to cover and win.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sounds good. So let's move on. This is now the 4:00 window, another division of game again. The Denver Broncos will be traveling to take on the Raiders. Broncos are 5.5-point favorites, so really giving respect to this Denver defense and this Denver team who just killed the Falcons. Over under 41.5. So that it's really crazy because that means the Broncos would actually be double-digit favorites. But I'm going with the Raiders here to cover and win. Man, I think the Broncos are riding high. I think this for a young team, they're going to be like looking ahead to next week and just kind of really riding that high where I guess you got the Browns next week, so it's not exactly a look ahead spot, but I just think it's a letdown spot, to be honest. I mean, it's the Raiders who have been playing terrible, really haven't shown a lot of flashes, but I think it'll be tight with this division, so I like them to cover. But I really do think the Raiders can get it done here. I think, Crosby could really rig some havoc and, make Bo Nix look uncomfortable. Or I could be completely wrong, and it's like, hey, Broncos are legit. Like, start showing them some respect, and they go and put up, a 20-point, 30-point win. But, yeah, I'm rocking Raiders. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it was a fluke win last time. The entire Falcons team was basically left behind heading over to Denver. So I'm going to go and say I think the Raiders get the job done, covering that 5.5-point spread. But Fuck it. I'm gonna take the Raiders to freaking win too.
Let's go.
We're in Vegas. Yeah, that's about it right there. Then and there. Vegas is gonna be on Vegas, and Vegas is gonna win and cover.
I love it. Let's see.
Switching it right now in the sheet.
You already have the Raiders, so you were already
Ooh. That was up, but that was before dinner picks. Look at me now after dinner.
Hey, all right. What do you have for dinner? Speaking of dinner,
ground beef. No, tonight was sausage and white rice with some Parmesan cheese and sriracha sauce, courtesy of my roommate.
Hell yeah, that's good.
Yeah, eating like a dog.
Yeah, I didn't know he knows how to cook, so I'm already impressed. But let's move on. We got the 49ers traveling to take on the Packers. Packers are 2.5-point favorites, so they're getting their respect. I mean, obviously the Niners haven't looked like the Niners we've seen in recent years, dealing with some injuries, but looks like Kittle should be back. McCaffrey obviously getting more and more healthy, so I'm rocking with the Niners here. Over under set 47.5 as well, but I'm rocking with the Niners to win and cover here. I just think this is a must win for them, and I find it hard to believe that with a loss here, they would miss the playoffs, and I can't see it. So I think they get it done here. I think Shanahan has a great game plan here, and I think it's one of those dominant offensive games. But I think McCaffrey's going to have to be the catalyst. So I think he'll be pushing 200 all-purpose yards because I think his usage is going to be through the roof this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't have a touchdown since he's came back, right? So
no, he doesn't.
I think that he gets the job done here. It's probably still going to be minus 285, but he will be sprinkled. He will be sprinkled in my anytime touchdown score parlay. Maybe he's in big dogs. We will see.
Probably knowing that Chalkster.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be a good game regardless. The Packers have had a decent season so far. Jordan Love's all right. Purdy's questionable. Is he set to play? There's nothing wrong with his collarbone or whatever, right?
Yeah, so, Kyle Shanahan came out and said he's not worried. I think, maybe if they were in a different spot where they're 8-2, or I'm sorry, they're 5-2, 5-5. So if they're like 8-2, 7-3, maybe you sit him out here. But I mean, it's go time. If he's even like 50%, they have to play him. I mean, you just can't lose it. It's a must win for them at this point. So, he'll play.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna change my pick to Green Bay. Yep.
Really?
Yes. Take the Niners out of there, boy.
Okay. All right. You're taking the Packers. Fair. And why do you like them?
Because they're the colors green and I love money. No. I don't know, man. I think after watching their performance last week against Seattle, they could also have correct me if I'm wrong. They were in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
oh wait, no, it was in San Francisco.
Oh, it was in San Francisco. Okay,
yes,
completely take that back. So they lost at home, so they're going to be losing on the road here to Green Bay, and I don't know. There's really nothing else for me to kind of explain to you here. I think that the Niners have had a little bit of a shaky. Looking at their last 5. 20-17 against Seattle, 23-20 against Tampa Bay, 30-24 against Dallas, and 28-18 Chiefs, and 36-24. It's been relatively close games, and I think the Packers have also had some pretty decent matchups with like the Lions, which was week 10, and then also I don't know.
Yeah, man. They're a good team.
The Cardinals are a relatively good team too, and they beat them 34-13.
They're definitely a good team. The Cardinals, they're 100% a good team.
Yeah.
The Packers do have a sick defense. Jordan Love hasn't even been 100%, and Josh Jacobs obviously has been, very good. I can definitely see it. I just think this game is so important to the Niners, so that's why I'm rocking with them. But let's move on. Arizona Cardinals will be traveling to take on the Seahawks. Seattle is a slight favorite at 1 point, over under 47.5. I will be rocking with the Cardinals here off the bye. I love their offense. Their defense, while maybe they don't got a lot of star power, they have been on absolute fire. And Seattle, you had a good win against the Niners, but I still do not believe in this Niners. I don't believe in this Seattle team. I think their defense is terrible. I really don't love their offense. I think they're very inconsistent. I think Geno has been very inconsistent this year. So I think the Cardinals get it done here. They move to 7-4. Seattle falls to 5-6. What do you think?
Yeah, Reagan. I'm gonna be one of those NPCs out there and just head over to ESPN Gamecast, and I'm gonna see that the matchup predictor has the Cardinals at 53.7% to win this game here, and they are the underdog here. So, if ESPN can predict a goddamn game, I'm gonna bet on them. So I'm gonna go the Cardinals as well. And I'm not sure why it's 53.5%. I wish I knew like the statistics behind the game cast here because I don't know what they're measuring. I guess it's probably just based off of record and conference wins. It's definitely not based off of home field advantage or shit like that Vegas actually takes a look at. But I'm going to rock with the Cardinals with you as well. Seahawks got their win against the Niners. Their luck has ran out. I think a decent quarterback, but I think Kyle Murray's in his bag right now. He's playing probably a lot of Call of Duty with the new game coming out, so he's probably all hyped up about that. And James Conner, it's really death taxes and James Conner score anytime. So let's go.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like I think, I think Kyler Murray is a sneaky MVP pick. I like the value. I mean, obviously the team has been playing very well, so I think he's very, very sneaky and definitely worth a sprinkle. Especially if they end up being a double-digit win and winning the NFC West and a high seed. Why not Kyler Murray? So I think it's definitely worth a sprinkle. What were you gonna say?
No, nothing. I'll talk to you after the last game we go over. We should throw in a segment here. I'm going to do an underdog parlay. Underdog Moneyline parlay for this week. I'm going to throw a bag on it.
Okay.
Sure. I'll do it live on the pod too.
Sure. Love it. Sounds good. All right, let's move on to Sunday Night Football. Eagles are on the road taking on the Rams. Eagles are 3-point favorites. Over under 48.5. And I'm taking the Eagles, man. I freaking love the way that defense has been playing. Vic Fangio has his guys fired up. The offense, now ever since they kind of took a lot off of Jalen, where they're not making him be this pocket passer, I've really been impressed. Really relying on Saquon Barkley, the guy they went out and paid the big contract in the offseason. Obviously, the weapons are all healthy. You got Goddard, Smith, Brown, all balling out. So I love it all. I know the Rams, obviously, they're getting healthy as well. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles got too much star power, and their defense has been balling out while the Rams is very young and inexperienced. So, I think Saquon will take advantage of it. I know Garrett highlighted it earlier, big A.J. Brown game, and I agree on that. So I got the Eagles winning here, and I think it may end up being double digits. And I love the over here. I really do.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one as well. I think the Eagles roll here. Everything's going for them right now. They look fundamentally sound offensively, relatively decent defensively. They're 4-1 away. I don't think the Rams have the potential. I don't know. Like how's the Eagles secondary?
It's a lot better. Quinion Mitchell's obviously been balling out. I mean, he's been shutting down a lot of guys. In fairness, he's not shadowing, but I mean, he's been limiting like in his snaps against some of the top receivers. Right. He's been advertised.
That's kind of what the Rams offense is, if I'm wrong, right? I mean, they have solid wide receivers, and you're kind of just looking in the slot there. So that's all I'm really thinking of here. If they shut them down pass game wise, I think they get the victory here, but I know they will. I'll probably be gambling on them. And let's go Saquon Barkley and the Eagles to win and cover.
Fair enough. All right, so let's move on to Monday Night Football, the Harbaugh Bowl. Where John Harbaugh will be traveling to take on Jim Harbaugh. John and the Ravens are 3-point favorites on the road. Over under is 49.5, so very high. I guess Vegas kind of thinks we'll see more of the Chargers defense we saw against the Bengals versus that dominant one we saw through their first 9 games. I'm back in the Chargers here. I'm back in Baby Bro at home. I like their defense still. I think Herbert's a phenomenal quarterback. I mean, he's been getting it done with not a great cast, and he's just been slanging it. So I'm rolling with the Chargers here. I think Baby Bro is going to outclass Big Bro here. And I think the Ravens may have bigger issues than we realize. And I think the Chargers really need to be considered legit threats in the AFC. So I know a lot of people are they still think they're a year away or two, but hey, why not now? So I'm riding with the Chargers at home here.
Ooh, it's a crazy take. But after watching the Ravens lose last week, it's tough to take them right now. I like the Monday night matchup here. I like the two brothers going against each other. I think this is the game of the week, something that everybody's going to be looking forward to and what the storyline is basically going to be, especially now to get to watching Monday night rolling into Thanksgiving week. I'm gonna take the Chargers with you. I'm gonna take them to cover and to win. Yes.
Wow. Not a lot of
take
disagreement tonight.
No,
honestly.
I know. It's always nice listening to another round of Felter rather than having to just go in the spreadsheet and take the picks. You got a lot of ball knowledge, Reagan, and I like to hear it from you. So,
Hopefully this is my week. I mean, last week I obviously had a good week, but I might be due for a dud, and you might be regretting, agreeing with me on so many things.
Yeah, well, we'll see, and we'll find out. So
that we will, and obviously, I'll cook up some graphics for us to post on social media. Those have been fun to do, so we'll do that. But what's your underdog parlay?
Yeah, I hope to God you take this with me. First pick in the parlay. Bears money line against the Vikings. The Bears are at home. They are at home. I know you were just shitting on Caleb Williams, but I think they get the job done at plus 145. Next, we're going to Vegas, and we're beating the Denver Broncos, who just beat the Falcons. I don't even know what the score of that was. 38-6. Yeah. Yeah. So, they're all juiced up, thinking that they're all good, beating the Falcons. Nope. We're going Raiders money line plus 195, the juiciest play in the parlay. Next, what you will love, and I know you'll love this, we're taking the Cardinals. I don't know why on DraftKings it's got me at 108, but I've seen other sports book at plus 105. So if you can run over to your local sports book and buy them at plus money, do so. This parlay is plus 1,300, and DROCK just threw 100 on it. Slam it.
Awesome. And for those of you watching this clip right now, comment. Did you take it or not? I mean, we're going to make this into a clip, so I'll be telling you, DROCK, I like it. We might need to make a name for that, but DROCK's
money line, DROCK's dogs. Nah,
something like that.
We'll get creative with it. I don't know. We'll
double D with the double D's. No.
Pause. All right.
But yeah, man, I like it.
Let's go and let's show the camera that hoodie again, Reagan. God damn it, does that look comfortable on you, my man? Damn,
yeah, I actually like the army green. We got a lot of different feedback on that. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't. But I actually think it came out nicer than the pictures. I really like the color. It helps my blue eyes pop. So I like it a lot.
It's also the perfect color to wear around this time of the year, Reagan. You're heading into Thanksgiving. I don't know why green kind of meshes in with Thanksgiving, and obviously definitely suits in well at the Christmas table with your family. I would definitely buy yourself that color. And to be honest with you, as being as transparent as possible, I didn't like the color on the graphics on the photo, but when we pulled them out of the box, god damn, do they look good. There's not a single color that missed.
It definitely looks better than we imagined, but I know we both got them all, so people will get a chance to see you rocking that green.
Yeah, New York City, we'll see it Saturday. So
you're gonna be wearing it out to the bars. Hell yeah.
100%, dude. 100%. I'm aware of every goddamn way. I don't have it on now. I got back from the city like an hour ago, but so
hey, if you're a single girl in the city, I mean, hey, maybe come up, say hello to DROCK. You may be walking home with a crew neck on DROCK.
Yeah, please.
There we go. Well,
already, Reagan.
Maybe a wheel spin for what crew neck gets worn out on Saturday night.
I like that. I kind of like that. That.
How could you go wrong? All four are nice. So, I mean, how could you decide? And, if you guys are still listening at this point, please drop a subscription, drop a follow, a like, maybe even drop a comment, something about what you thought from the podcast. So, but we appreciate you if you stood through this whole time.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.